What's up, everybody? Time on the File here again, bringing you Chapter 6 of Spiral Episode 1. So after Detective Noir knocks us out in the alleyway, we wake up in the police station, and there's explosions going on outside. A hologram of Colonel Falk comes in and tells you that he's wanting to make sure that you are still here and we're under attack, so they're letting us out of jail. But no one else knows that we are being let out, so the rest of the police force is going to attack us, and we need to try to escape out of the prison and survive the attack. This is probably one of my favorite chapters of the game because it is so frantic. There's a lot of combat and a lot of fast-paced action. There is one part coming up that kind of slows down the action. The elevators are blocked, so you need to try and find one that is not functioning. And once we find an elevator that works, we get in. There is a little break in the action. So once we are in the elevators, they are malfunctioning. As you can see, they're just moving randomly. So it sets up a little puzzle for us to attempt to solve to get down to a level where we can get out of the prison. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. There you saw I fell off. So you can walk off of the elevators and die, but it's pretty easy to get through the puzzle. As you'll see, it's just a little time consuming. But there's nothing real challenging as long as you watch what you're doing. Which I didn't last time and died. So we just get to ride up and down for a little bit here. And eventually we will get to a level where we can get back out into the main hallways and attempt our escape some more. I've already mentioned this in a previous video, but I think this game, although it didn't have a big fanfare when it released on the same day as XCOM Enemy Unknown, this game could easily be a Game of the Year contender for the App Store for iOS. It definitely has high caliber graphics, as you can see, and unique and high caliber controls. Like this game is designed from the ground up for a touchscreen, so it doesn't have the virtual joysticks or anything, which I know I saw some people complaining in the reviews on the App Store that they wish this had a virtual joystick, but which I don't understand. If you're gonna play a mobile game, if you're playing games on a touchscreen, I mean, I would prefer controls that were built with touchscreens in mind, not just ports of a console game with a virtual joystick and virtual buttons thrown in. Although, I mean, that can work, I played Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City and Max Payne all on my iPad, and while the controls were a little clunky, not having that physical joystick and physical buttons, it can work. Obviously, GameLoft makes a living off of making console rip-offs. They use virtual joysticks. I'm not saying that can't work, but for me personally, I enjoy controls that are made with touchscreens in mind, not just trying to overlay console controls onto a mobile device. That being said, iOS 7 is gonna allow for gamepad support, for third-party gamepad support. So some games you'll be able to actually use a gamepad to play. But that being said, everyone likes games a certain way. But for all you out there who really want a joystick, there are handheld devices and console games that have a joystick. Just saying. And you can you can use the controls. You can tap and hold the screen and then just drag your finger like it was a virtual joystick and walk around. You don't have to tap to move. So, you can customize it a little bit based on your play style and your preference. But besides the point, as you can see, we're back in the hallways, taking on the entire police force that is still in the police headquarters. And this is the reason why this level is my favorite, is because you get a lot more combat. Every kind of break, every hallway you're fighting multiple enemies. Even in the elevator scene, you got to fight the drones. So it's too bad that this came at the end of the game. I mean, obviously throughout the game you saw me fighting enemies, but the most intense combat came in chapter 6, which is this chapter, and chapter 7 coming up. Which makes sense, they're building up towards the climax of the game because there's only 7 chapters. But it could have been even cooler to have a lot more enemies in every level. Luckily, there is an arena mode where you can take on hordes and waves of enemies, or do a time attack and try and kill as many enemies as you can in the time frame given. So I'll make a video of that soon after I finish my playthrough, because the arena mode is a lot of fun. It's one of the best arena modes that I played in a mobile game. There's time attack, there's waves, you just try and get as many waves as possible. There is survival, where you can't heal yourself, so you just survive as long as you can with just the health you start with. That was pretty fun, but that'll be coming soon. Now we need to unlock the vault by following the pattern, kind of like that game Simon, if y'all know what that game is. And pretty simple, although this next one I have trouble with. I keep clicking the wrong one for some reason. But it all worked out. As you can see, the time up there, once it shows you the pattern, you only have that much time to complete it. And I don't know what was wrong with me here, but I kept hitting the wrong pattern. I'm gonna take on some more drones. There's a few here, nothing too crazy. Gonna get to go to the final vault crack the code. And then we'll be able to find the battery core. So there you see we've got that open, and there is the battery core that was being held in the police station the whole time. So clearly the government is up to something. And unfortunately, probably Colonel Falk is in on the whole thing. Whatever it is, which we don't know yet. So we told the resistance boss to go ahead and take the battery core, and we were gonna hold off any of the police to allow them to get the core out of the police station. And they're gonna get on a train. We need to survive and get out of the police station before our time expires. And this is kind of fun. This kind of gives you a preview of what the arena mode is like. You just get waves and waves of guys coming at you. When if you die, there's more respawn. Now these guys with the shield, these like SWAT dudes with the riot shields. The easiest way to get past the shield is to use a super move, which you tap and hold on the enemy until it's red, until your bar turns red. You'll unleash one of your super moves. And that's the easiest way to get rid of those guys. You can't just shoot them or hit them with your staff until their shield breaks. But if you want to take them out quickly, the easiest way is just use a super. If you have time to charge up all the way. That's what I would recommend doing. So just take out the drones here, and then some more enemies come out of the woodwork, and just continue to beat them down. Here we go. You see, I'm about to use a super move on these guys here with the dual wielding pistols. That's probably my favorite super move. There are not a lot of super moves. There's one for long range, one for mid range, and one for close range. It would be nice to see in future updates or future additions to the series a little more varied moves. But so that was chapter 6. We escaped the police station. We have the battery core now. There's one more to go. I hope you like this video, and stay tuned because very soon the final chapter will be uploaded and you can see how the game ends. Follow me on Twitter if you want, subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.